Hey Virgos, welcome to your 2020 yearly astrology and tarot reading. So we're going to go over the astrology a little bit, and then we're going to get into the tarot. We're going to pull a card for each month, and we're going to pull one card from a different deck for your overall energy and message for the year. Ooh, it's going to be an exciting one. I can't believe we're in 2020. Actually, tomorrow is 2020. I'm doing this reading on December 31st. This is going to be very special. And I'm sorry that it took a bit to get to your reading and to the rest of the 2020 reads. It's been very busy. As I'm sure you guys know, I have a Virgo moon, so I bet you guys are feeling pretty busy and tied down right now yourselves. It's kind of like there's too much going on here, there, and everywhere, and people want us to do stuff. So how do you say no, right? I'm going to be drinking from this awesome Rose Glow Tea Room rose quartz water bottle that charges it with this big rose quartz here. My sister got it for me for Christmas, and no, I'm not getting sponsored or anything. I just love this, and I'm so impressed by it. And I'm just, oh my God, I just love this thing. It's so cool. She actually got it for me because, sorry, this is just a little quick tidbit and then I'll get right into it. She actually got it for me, funny story, because I used to put, right up until now pretty much used to charge my water with certain stones. And one time I forgot, threw it in the dishwasher, turned on, not in the dishwasher, in the sink to pour out my water, and went down into the food disposal thing or whatever, and it chopped up the rock. So it was kind of a joke that she got me this, but it actually is really cool. So let's get into this here. Let's talk about the astrology, and I'm going to shuffle your one card yearly. Your one card for the year. I know I'm having a hard time saying that right now with the Usi Pagan Other Worlds deck. We're just going to pull one card for the overall energy of the year for you guys and talk about the astrology. So, Virgos. These are Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. The way I talk about the houses, it is for Virgo suns. You have to check out, what your houses are. I highly recommend that. It'll help you understand all this easier and see where it's really hitting. So, let's start this off. January 10th, we have a lunar eclipse full moon in Cancer in your 11th house. And that's going to be all about communities, groups, your social networks there, bringing more energy into those areas. You're going to be able to really articulate a lot better, really do something with your hopes, your dreams, especially involving communities, groups, or, a workplace environment, some type of community you want to be a part of possibly. Also, Virgos, if you haven't, do make sure to subscribe. Do make sure to share the videos. And check me out over on Instagram if you haven't. I do readings and stuff over there too. So January 12th, we have Saturn-Pluto conjunction, which I'm sure you guys have heard of because everyone's talking about it. And it's going to be at 22 degrees Capricorn. So let's talk about that just for a little bit, and then I'll talk about what house it's in for you. So this is going to be kind of that global Saturn return, kind of karmic nature really applying to the whole world, okay? So it's going to complete an almost 4-decade-long planetary cycle because it only happens every 34 to 38 years, I believe, and it lasts about 2.5 years. So it's going to bring a lot of undertones of, what the judgment card is about. Judgment within our life. How can we change? What do we need to change? What is coming up for review at this time to shift? Saturn is the lord of karma, Kronos, the Greek god of time, measure, of air. And he's all about the structure, the skeleton in which everything else is built around. If you see me looking at different papers, just because these are all my astrology notes, I can't remember all of this stuff, guys. Be crazy if I did. I'm not that cool. So Pluto, which is, also represents Hades, or the god of death, is the enactor of karma. So that's bringing, this this global, kind of lord of karma versus enactor of karma type of energy here. So it's going to be really implosion and transformation here. It's like Saturn is the celestial clock, and Pluto is the force that really is coming to power when time is due. Crazy stuff. So for you, this is all happening in your 5th house of relationships, love, children, fun. So there are going to be major changes in your relationships. If you're unhappy, if you're not satisfied, if there's something more that you want, I think that you're probably going to go for it, or something big is going to happen in those areas. So April 4th, June 30th, and November 12th, we have Jupiter, the lucky planet, conjuncting Pluto. Again, an actor of karma, god of death, and it's going to be again in your 5th house of relationships, love, romance, and luck. So it could be actually a lot of really lucky dates, as well as if you need to break free of a relationship, if you need to see something in a way that releases you from old bonds or a tie that is no longer working. It's your love life can completely change on these dates. So keep an eye out for that. May 13th to June 25th, we got Venus retrograding in Gemini. So, and that's in your 10th house of career. Don't start something new in terms of career. Do not try to lock somebody down. Don't try to plan a wedding or get married or commit during these times. It's not a good time, because you're going to start hating what you love, loving what you hate. Everything gets all messy, mixed up. See, I can't even say it right. May 5th, the nodes are changing. And actually, oh, no, I have them right here. I have my notes on that right here. We have the nodes entering Gemini, the North Node entering Gemini, and the South Node entering Sagittarius. So we're going to be focusing, with the North Node on information that we can accumulate, having, how you're doing, how you're utilizing yourself with what you know, how do you utilize your knowledge. And then the South Node is really what we're wanting to step away from. So you're going to be looking at what you're releasing in terms of what you believed in, your beliefs, your spirituality, because Sagittarius is really about that stuff. Again, look at where houses these signs are in for you guys, but it's going to have you focusing on what you're learning versus what you believe and how that's kind of shifting as we move forward here. Okay, so June 5th, we have a lunar eclipse in Sagittarius in your South Node, and it's a full moon. Sorry, it's a full moon lunar eclipse. I wrote it kind of backwards here. Again, it's in your 4th house of family, home. So you're going to really want to be around people who really like you for you, and you're not going to want to change yourself anymore. You're not going to want to try to maybe put on a brave face or act a different way against certain people. People don't like you, they don't like you, and you're over it. And again, eclipses that energy lasts for 6 months. So we had 6 eclipses this year, so it's like, it's a lot. June 21st, we have a solar eclipse, new moon in Cancer in your 11th house of, again, communities, social groups. So you're going to be able to articulate again and do a lot with whatever your hopes and your dreams are. We're going to be putting a lot of energy into those areas. July 5th, we have lunar eclipse, full moon in Capricorn. And there's a lot in Capricorn at this point. It's going to be Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn all sitting in Capricorn. And that's all 5th house for you guys. So pleasure, activities that bring joy, relationships, love. And you're going to be like, I don't want to have to work to make love and relationships a priority. And I don't think that you really will. You're going to be really raising your vibration in these areas and looking for more happiness and a higher vibe with your love life. On November 30th, we have a lunar eclipse, full moon in Gemini in your 10th house. So it's going to be your life's works, your legacy, what you're leaving on this planet. It's really important. On December 14th, we have a total solar eclipse, new moon in Sagittarius, which is your 4th house of home and family. So the people that you want to be around, once again, are going to be the people that like you and the people that vibe with you and that aren't criticizing you. And you're going to really be focusing on, who do I have around me and who do I need around me anymore? Who do I want around me? I want supportive, loving people and nothing else. December 21st, we have the Great Conjunction. So once every 20 years, Jupiter, the planet, the benefic planet of luck, and Saturn, the planet of structure, come together here, and really it's going to be the structure of humanity being tested. We're going to get to that one again by the end of this coming year, because that's a big one and it's a lot to cover with just this. Let's pull your card here now for your general message, and I'm going to just put these away a little bit because it's getting pretty wild over here in terms of papers. We're also going to have a bunch of cards out on the deck for some, or on the floor. Oh, wow. I have to ignore you for now because I just have to. I'm sorry. But I will say the 7 of Swords reversed did pop out. It was the only card that flung itself up right when I just knocked over the deck that we're actually going to be using for month to month. So maybe that'll be significant. We're using the Usi Pagan Otherworlds, though, for your general energy for 2020. What is the general energy for Virgo for the year 2020? And again, this is a quick general read for the year, 1 card for each month. We're not going too deep because we always do monthlies. Wow. And I wanted to pull like a classic card from the deck for this, but I just don't think I can. All right, Virgo. So, sorry, I had a little coughing fit there and I wanted to pause it because I felt it coming on. Your card of energy for the year here is a 3rd quarter moon. And there's all the moon cycles are actually involved in this deck, and that's why I like to use it, because they have meanings as well. So 3rd quarter moons represent a time of reflection, of letting go, of, it's not at its peak end. It's not being at your peak energy anymore. It's a time of waning. It's a time of releasing. It's a time of allowing things to really shift, to really change, and to really reflect on what we've learned and what we need to do moving forward. So it's going to be a really reflective and, you know, is it the glass half empty or half full kind of year. And you're going to be really looking at, you know, what makes you happy and what you need to do now, what you need to release, what you need to let go of in order to get to where you want to be. I'm just going to have a little bit of water. And I guess I'm not really going to put this on because it won't go on all the way for some reason. I have a hard time putting bottle caps on, but we're going to see how that plays into all the cards that we get here. So let's check it out. I'm going to pull one for January for you now. January, move all these cards, make a bit of space here. January 2020 for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And again, maybe I'll put a timestamp, or if somebody wants to put a timestamp for after I'm done shuffling and putting all the cards down. Oh, wow. Yep. February 2020, I mean, you can feel free to do that. I would appreciate it. February 2020 for Virgo. Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What is the general energy of that month for you? Or what will be happening? Oh, okay. February, sorry, March. Okay. April 2020 for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Wow. Wow. Okay, put these all together here. May 2020 for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And don't worry, I mean, I'm going to show them all and go through each one as after they all come out. Okay. Virgos, what's this year going to be like for you guys? June 2020. One at a time. June 2020 for Virgo, Sun. Also a difficult deck to shuffle, so it looks like I'm like, ugh. It's because these cards are extremely bent, but they are my oldest, my trustiest deck, and I like to use them for very special occasions. Lunar cycles will teach you a lot this year. I can't help but notice that the moon has been coming up behind a lot of your readings, upright, reversed, behind a lot of these cards. And with your first card being a card of a moon cycle, especially if you have any placements in Cancer, really pay attention to the moon cycles this year. They're going to teach you a lot. It's going to offer a lot and ask you to change in a lot of ways. January, February, March, April, May, June. See, that message had to come through. Now I got to look at July. August for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. August for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. All right, September. Your birthday month. Ooh. October. There's a sun. Moon. One card. October for Virgos. Oh, okay. November. Okay, what do you want to come out so bad? December. Oh, that's one I wish we could have gotten for a lot of those months just now. All right, and I got them all. What am I doing? I was like, let's go through another year. We're not ready for that one yet, right? Okay, so let me get a little bit of water here. Take this all in. Let's get to it. Actually, I'm going to move this a little bit so I don't accidentally knock it over, because you guys know if you've been here for a while, but I talk with my hands a lot. So let's see. All right, January. Eight of Cups. I'm not surprised. Considering your year here is really about releasing, letting go, moving on. What do you have to leave behind in order to move on towards what you want? And I recently had a conversation with a Virgo friend of mine about moving forward, letting go, moving on, and how Virgos have this hard time really, um, especially in terms of relationships. And we have a lot of fifth house activity for you guys this year. As you've noticed, there's a lot going on in Capricorn, a lot of big planets, a lot of things happening in Capricorn. I don't even think I need to re-explain that one, but that's all fifth house of relationships, love, fun. What makes you happy? How do you find joy? And what brings you joy? Who brings you joy? And I think Virgos, especially as an earth sign, and especially you guys, I find have a really hard time leaving dissatisfying relationships. If something isn't, that you guys get into them just fine, but like getting out is difficult. It's difficult, and you find reasons not to, especially if you put a lot of effort, time, money, and structure around a relationship. It can be extremely difficult to extricate yourself out of it. It might feel very difficult to get yourself out of a situation. It might feel kind of lonely and sad, like, what do I have to leave behind here in January to get to where we want? So there's a sense of moving on, leaving something behind there, something that was not satisfying. Love, again, I feel this is very tied to emotions more, but it could also have to do with work. If you're leaving a situation to be happier in another one, to do a job that makes you happy. All right, so let's move on now. February. We can't spend too much time with the cards here because we got 12 of them. February, we get the Page of Wands. And that's really good. He always has something new that he's looking into, new that he's starting. Page of Wands is just this very, fiery, kind of more action-oriented, like, what do I want to do and how am I going to do it? And, it's just a lot of what makes, it bears messages of spiritual and passionate importance. So what makes you happy, what drives you, what kind of knowledge, what kind of information is going to push you forward, give you momentum, give you that passion, light the fire beneath you. So what are we looking at now? What are we learning now that's making us happier? Maybe we have an idea that we'd like to start. Maybe we have a new passion, a new career that we're going towards. Whatever it is, it's a newer energy and it's more exciting and it's more willing to learn than before. March, we have the Three of Pentacles, building foundational roots that are equal in mind, body, and soul. You could be building with on a relationship here. You could be moving in together, building a home, building the structure of a life around something here. But we have a solid foundation, and we're making sure here that we're aligned in all these areas. Is our mind aligned? Is our heart aligned? Do we have the money? Do we have everything that we need here to continue building upon the foundation that we have now laid? And is it solid in the first place? Again, you got to look at this in the context of mind, body, and soul, especially if you're building with somebody else. Are we on the same page? We all got our three pentacles in a row here. April is looking really good, and I'm excited because April's actually my birthday month, and as a Virgo moon, I'm pretty excited to see a card like this. The Lovers in April. We have a choice, and I have to say, one of the most happy, loving, I love the Lovers in other decks, and I have a favorite, I would say the Morgan Greer might be my favorite Lovers deck because it is just 70s. It's like all sexy, and I don't know, I just really like it. I think it's a really awesome Lovers card, and as well as get the Gustav Klimt because it's the smooch. But the Lovers in this deck is such a happy, positive card. I'm not saying it's my favorite, but it brings more happiness in this deck to me than ever because it's just like, it's got rainbow colors here. You got all the colors. You have literally all the colors in the rainbow are in this deck here, and it looks beautiful. It's a rainbow. It's like a dissembled rainbow of happiness. So yes, the Lovers can mean a choice, but for me, it just feels happier than that. It feels like two people falling in love. We have a choice in love that's really going to make us happy. We could be falling in love with somebody. We could be falling in love with a new career. But whatever this is, it feels sunshine, rainbows, and a door that opens up that if we choose to go in, it's true happiness and joy. May, we have the Knight of Cups. More lovely energy, amazing energy, possible offers, possible romantic offers. There's a lot of romantic energy here in April and May. So, I would say all the way up through July, we have some romantic energy. And again, we got a lot of fifth house things happening. So are we surprised? Of course not. Knight of Cups, though, is very dreamy. What makes me happy in that dreamy sense? What's my Prince Charming kind of energy? What's my fairy tale ending that I'm looking for? Somebody could come, a Prince Charming or Princess Charming or someone charming here could be coming in to offer you something amazing. at this time, to offer you love, to offer you affection, to offer you care. It doesn't have to be romance, but it can be also a friend, an opportunity that really makes you happy, especially if you're a creative. This is, get the juices flowing, happiness kind of energy. Here's an offer that I can really get behind and really feel with my heart. So it also might be that you could be one delivering some type of loving, wonderful message. You could be really feeling it and just wanting to share love and be more open in your heart and, grow in that kind of area there. And I would say try to become a more tolerant, loving, harmonious individual who's willing to accept and love others in that truest sense, of acceptance and love despite anything. Don't let viewpoints, don't let politics, don't let other things get in the way, all right? It's time in 2020 to open our hearts, open our minds, to understand and love things that maybe we didn't understand before. Okay, and really just be a good people, just be good to other people. And I do feel like that's kind of a focus for you guys this year with so much fifth house energy. It's like love and harmony and what makes me happy and what's going to bring joy. Yeah, but also extend that to others. Hanged Man here reverse is I'm sorry, he's not reverse, I always say that when I see him. The Hanged Man is your card for June. Skipping a month here, card for June here. And the Hanged Man, as you can see, he represents a 4. He makes a 4 with his legs, but he's reversed. He doesn't really have a foundation to sit on. And, the foundation that we thought might be there has kind of turned us upside down and said, really look at this again. Really look at, whether you want whatever it is that you're thinking about, whatever it is that you're considering right now, it's time to look at it from a completely different perspective, which is why I'm saying there's a lot of love and happiness, but we have to be willing to look at things from different perspectives, see it from the other person's side and perspective and appreciate it, and also grow from it as well, instead of putting up blockers and pretending we can't see, hear, and feel, how somebody else or another, side of a story is. This is very much about, again, looking at things from a new perspective, seeing something in a different light, and growing from it so that, then we can finally, unhinge ourselves and walk on forward. But we have to learn something here in June. I keep getting myself confused. I'm sorry. I'm so great with months, right? I definitely am educated. Unfortunately, I am. 6 of Cups here is your card for July, and that is a card of reconciliation, of love, and it is also my personal card for soulmates. And I'm not going to, get into all the cheesy stuff that people on here on YouTube get into, like the soulmates and the twin flames, and it can be any of those things, yeah, of course, but it's not always those things. And soulmates are not just romantic. Soulmates are also very much about friendships, and let's come back into this life to learn from each other. Maybe not in a romantic situation. Not all soulmates are like, I'm going to end up with this person forever. All right, so all soulmates, you have a lot of them, and they all come in for different reasons and different types of relationships to teach you different things. You can learn from each other. So remember that. I'll do a video on that sometime, but I just don't like when people get really stuck on stupid, gushy things about that. It's nice to be sunshine and roses, but it's also, I'm a very realistic reader. I'm not going to bullshit you, okay? 6 of Cups here, though, is a card that is really loving. And again, there's a great tinge of love and romantic energy to your year. So I don't want to make it sound too harsh, but it can also be, holding on to relationships and things from the past, having somebody that from the past, an ex or somebody, you want to reconcile. We could also be thinking of an ex or somebody during this time. I know that we have that. What is the retrograde for May 13th to June 25th is the Venus retrograde. So actually this is in July, so we'll be past that. And so maybe if you weren't hearing from somebody, weren't having the connection in love that you wanted to during that time, which you probably won't because it's going to be an awkward time where, again, things get a little bit skewed. And if you skipped over the part in the beginning where I talked about the astrology, definitely go watch it. It is very important for 2020. I cannot stress that enough. Please watch your astrology for 2020. Pay attention to it. 6 of Cups, though, is reconciliation. It's love. It is coming back into, love. So it feels like after that retrograde for that month, back into July here, we're finally being able to reconnect in the heart space, really feel love, really, again, maybe reconnect in a relationship, fall in love with somebody, possibly even new, but that feels like, again, a past life relationship or probably a soulmate that we are meeting now in this life that we had known in a past one, or, been like, hey, let's meet up in this life, let's learn something and come together. It feels like that for you guys, but it also is this great sense, again, of just reconciliation, reconnecting in love. Maybe somebody that you haven't seen in a while, if you're in a long-distance relationship or you've got some kind of thing going, there's a real sense of, reconnecting in the heart space and in terms of romantic energy here in July. August, we get 5 of Swords. let's like, I know you guys just want me to kind of put that down and like skip over it, but we're going to talk about it a little, because Five of Swords is, you know, I get a card of ghosting, a card of fighting, a card of miscommunication. There's been a fight here. You could be fighting with family, friends, somebody, but you're going to feel attacked. You're going to feel like, okay, so you can just say that and then walk away. All right, cool. But you also, I think, have a lot more say in this. You can fight back the way they fought back, or you can keep your head above it and let them run around in circles and say all this other, all the horrible shit that they want, all the horrible things that they want to do and say or whatever. Let them do it, because when they look back on it, they're not going to see you negatively. They're not going to get what they want out of you in this situation, is the sense that I get for August. Whew. September, we get these Knight of Swords. So you're going to be busy. I don't know. I always get I know that he's not usually that kind of energy and not that kind of card, but right now I just get the sense, and I feel like always in September, you guys, because it's your birthday month, you get busy. You get real busy around September. And it also feels like there's a lot of communication, possibly a lot of travel, sudden decisions. You know, I need you to do this, Virgo. I need you to do this. I need you to make a decision on this. I need you to travel here, get this done, get that done. And you're like, okay, I got to send out 1 million emails this month and do 1 million things. But there are things happening quickly. Also, watching your communication, you could be coming across as overly harsh and sarcastic, rude, whatever, and you might not mean it. Virgos, we tend to be a little bit sarcastic, and not everybody gets us. It's like, okay. But, you know, just make sure we're not coming across really harsh and cruel, especially if we're not in a great mood, or if we've got a lot going on and we're stressed. October. Magician reversed. Okay, this is a snake oil salesman kind of energy. It also makes you really look at what is it that you're creating, and are you creating it for the right reasons? What is your reasoning behind what you're doing, and are you acting underhandedly? I often get I don't want to say the word, but like I can't help that it's coming up right now. You could be dealing with maybe a sociopath, or sociopathy maybe within yourself at this time. I'm not trying to say you guys are sociopaths, but you might might need to look at how you utilize the relationships in your life, and if you're using people or using a situation, or, you know, if you're acting underhandedly to gain an upper hand, or to gain, you know, to push somebody's vision and whatever it is, this situation, I don't know, it just feels like there's underhanded motives here. Like you want something to go a certain way, so you're willing to kind of, you know, throw your morality and the way you usually should act under the bus to get that way. So just watch that kind of energy in October, and also, but especially also watch for other people. But again, this reading is always geared towards your energy in that month, so that's why I bring those kind of things up. Really look at your reasoning behind going for things, and if you don't believe in yourself and you don't think you have all that it takes, it's time to really evaluate why and how to change that. Whew, November, we get Two of Pentacles reverse. We're dropping the game on something. If you have any two-party situations, we're making a choice. If you've been juggling too much, especially with work, you're dropping one of those and you're like, no, I can't do that anymore. We got to do it this way. Maybe even dropping some type of side hustle or something for something more successful. Or it could be that you're dropping the day job for something more successful in what you love. It feels like, especially if you guys have been working towards, you know, personal career goals and making a life for yourself, making your own business, whatever that might be, or chasing some type of big dream, by the end of the year, it's feeling pretty good, because December is the Empress. So what have you been manifesting all year? What have you been working towards? What is like the dream life that you want to be living? It feels like by December, you're sitting pretty on that chair and you're enjoying all the fruits of your labor. Everything that you have worked hard for, that you knew was coming to you. You knew you were going to get here. You just really weren't sure about the road. And in 2020, ain't nobody sure about the road, okay? It's going to be a mess. It's going to be a fun mess. It's going to be great, but it's going to be a mess. So Virgo, those are your messages for 2020. Definitely make sure to subscribe and check out your monthly videos. I'm going to get into the January ones. They'll be a little bit late just because I got so much going on, and they will be a little bit shorter than normal just because, again, so much is going on. But don't worry, end of January and into February, we're going to put out a lot of content, and it's going to be really fun. And if you want to book a private reading, guys, all the information is right below this video in the description box. Again, make sure to subscribe, make sure to share, check me out over on Instagram for other content, and just to connect with me one-on-one. I feel like I'm a lot easier to talk to on Instagram because I can check it easier, and YouTube is kind of a mess with their notifications and stuff. But thank you guys so much for all of your support. Happy New Year. I can't believe we're in the year 2020. It's just like, it's a cool year to be in. I can't believe we're here. So happy new decade. I hope all is well. And thank you. Namaste.